What we're going to do is we're going to graph ellipses. First, we're going to put them in vertex form. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find the center and graph the major axis and minor axis. So with completing the square, our first one, we're going to take the -2, divide it by 2 and square it, and that gives us a 1. Now with this one right here, what we're going to do is we're first going to factor out a 4, and that gives us y squared plus 4y. We're going to take the 4, divide it by 2 and square it, and we get 4. And on the other side, we're going to add the 1 from the first one. 4 times 4 gives us 16. We're going to factor each of the trinomials, and that gives us x minus 1 squared plus 4 y plus 2 squared. And then -13 plus 1 plus 16 gives us a 4. Now, in vertex form, what we do is we set it equal to 1. So we are going to divide each side by 4. And what we have is x minus 1 squared over 4 plus y plus 2 squared over 1 equals 1. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the center. So when we're finding the center, what we're going to do is we're going to use the opposites. So our center is 1, -2. So we go 1, -2. Then we're going to take the square root of 4, which is 2. So along the x-axis, I'm going to go to the right 2 and to the left 2. And then I take the square root of 1, which is 1. So I go up 1 and I go down 1. And to the best of my ability, I make it look like an ellipse or an oval. So for the second one, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to get the x's and y's in order. So I have 4x squared plus 24x plus 9y squared minus 36y equals -36. I'm going to factor out a 4, and I get x squared plus 6x. I'm going to divide the 6 by 2 and square it, and that gives me a 9. I'm going to factor out a 9, and that gives me y squared minus 4y. Take the -4, divide it by 2 and square it, and that gives me a 4. And then that's equal to -36 plus 36 from the 4 times 9 plus another 36, 9 times 4. So that, of course, gives me 36. So when I factor it, I get x plus 3 squared plus 9y minus 2 squared equals 36. I'm going to divide each side by 36. And that gives me x plus 3 squared over 9 plus y minus 2 squared over 4 equals 1. So when I'm graphing this, I have the center of my circle, which is -3 and 2. And in order to fit it on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the axis over just a tad. That way I can see the whole ellipse without going by 2s or 3s. So I have the center, which is -3 and 2. And then what I'm going to do is take the square root of 9, which is 3. So I go to the right 3, to the left 3. And then I take the square root of 4, which is 2. So I go up 2 and I go down 2. And to the best of my ability, I make it look like an ellipse. Now for the next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the x's together and then find and complete the square. And then I'm going to move the 43 on the other side. So I factor out the 9, and that gives me x squared minus 4x. Take the negative 4 divided by 2 and square it, and that gives me a 4. And then I have y squared plus 8y. Take the 8 divided by 2 and square it. That gives me 16. Equals negative 43 plus 9 times 4 is 36 plus 16. And that right there gives me 9. So I have 9 x minus 2 squared when I factor it, plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 9. I set it equal to 1 by dividing by 9. And then that right there